Tottenham Hotspur have signed and come to an agreement with Antonio Conte to make him the new manager of Tottenham Hotspur. The deal is reported for an 18-month period to take Antonio Conte up to the summer of 2023. This has come from numerous sources across Italy and the continent and is slowly seeping into the British press as well. Sky Sports have just reported that Antonio Conte is boarded a plane and he's on his way to London to finalize this deal. That was, of course, brought to us a little bit earlier on today by Damasio, now being confirmed by more and more sources. It does appear imminent that Antonio Conte will be announced as the new Tottenham Hotspur manager. Remember, this time last week, Antonio Conte to Manchester United was green ticked. It was on. There were the same media that brokers Conte to Tottenham, who have been seen as so credible in this deal. They themselves said United were making those talks, having the conversations. Antonio Conte wanted to join. But it is Tottenham that land themselves a world-class manager, an absolute world-class manager. They're bringing into the Premier League to join Tuchel, Klopp, and Pep. The plethora of talent on those benches in those coaching rooms is going to be impeccable. The top 4 race heats up. The top 6 race heats up. I want your views. I want your opinions. But according to many, many members of the verified and mainstream media, Tottenham have signed Antonio Conte. He will be their new manager, replacing Nuno, and before him, Jose Mourinho. The likes of Lloris and Harry Kane. Can they turn this season around? I want your opinions. I want your views. Smash that like button right now, people. This is the Done Deal Show. Here we go. Welcome back, one and all. So much going on socials right now. You've got some Chelsea fans angry. You've got Liverpool fans laughing at Man United. Spurs fans almost not wanting to celebrate until they see Conte holding the shirt aloft. So much going on, so much to be digested in this afternoon show. Remember, we're back at 6 p.m. for the Done Deal Show. It's going to be epic tonight. Anita, Jess, KJ, Daniel, Spurs fan Patrick, all on the show tonight to give us their thoughts and to give us their feelings on this news. Plus, Unai Emery to Newcastle, Champions League preview, 6 p.m. tonight. Make sure you're all back for the best panel show on social media. The link is out now if you want to phone in and have your say. But many, many journalists now have come out and stated unequivocally that this deal is pretty much done. Damasio says Conte will sign a contract with Tottenham. That's been stated. I myself spoke to Pedro Almeida, who is a leading journalist out of Portugal. Very much right. Very, very good information in the summer in deals such as the Varane deal as an example. One of the leading journalists in the Bruno Fernandes to Man United deal as well. He has confirmed that the deal will go through. Also, Sky reporting Antonio Conte is on his way over. It looks pretty much signed, unless there is a crazy last-minute curveball. Another club comes in for him. I don't know. Unless there's a crazy little curveball, Antonio Conte looks as though he's going to be the Tottenham manager. This is massive. And I'm seeing like a weird reaction from Man United fans. There's half that seem happy. I'm glad. I'm so over the moon that he's not going to be our coach. There's another percentage that are like, nah, I'm not happy. I'm angry. I'm fuming. I'm annoyed that we're not getting him. Whatever club you support, I want to know what you think and feel. What do you think this is going to do to the top 4 race? Who is going to make it? We have a poll out right now that 56% of you think this now means Tottenham This now means Tottenham will win the race to take that final 4th place spot. 44% of you still don't think they will. I want to gauge your views and I want to gauge your opinions. Let's look at this live comment here. Orlando Clark says, Conte to United. Everyone says it's a stink deal, but Conte to Spurs, and it's a masterclass. The Glazers are a virus with no antidote. Okay, I hear what you're saying there. Listen, people that were the people that were saying Conte would be no good at Man United, again, I didn't necessarily believe them. This whole United don't have the profiles of player. I don't really, I understand the words people are using. I had someone say yesterday that literally I've heard fans say Spurs and Arsenal both have a more balanced squad and better profile of players in their squad than Manchester United. These are the same very people that said United should be title contenders because of the qualities of their squad at the beginning of the season. Very strange to me indeed. Terry, are you crying yet? I'm not crying. I feel vindicated as ever because the more and more atrocious running of our club. Every day, a new person DMs me. Oh, Terry, I've seen your point on the Glazers now. I see what you mean by the Glazers now. I see what you mean by the board now. It's always going to be the problem. So, yeah, not crying. A sense of vindication is what I feel. Deborah Luck here says Spurs might actually win something amazing. And that has become a distinct, real, and true possibility. Antonio Conte is one of the top 5 managers on the planet. On the planet. And do you know why it's a really great deal as well? It's an 18-monther. It's an 18-month deal. This deal gives Spurs and Antonio Conte a very quick and easy get out should it not go to plan. Should Spurs not start to buy the players they promise, he can get himself out quite easily. If he flops like Nuno, Spurs can get him out quite easily. It's a brilliant deal. We've seen Chelsea do it recently with their first deal for Thomas Tuchel, short term. This may be the way forward now for clubs, especially as a lot of managers and players seemingly want to run their deals down. The clubs are going to start to offer these shorter deals to protect themselves also. Thank you, by the way, to Jay for becoming an official first-team member of the Football Terrace. That means so much to me. It really, really does. Thank you very much, my friend. Abs here says, Terry, I'm done. We're done as a club. RIP Man United. Serious football club died in 2021. Who knows? This is pure BS. I don't know what you're talking about. This is real news, my friend. Real news. As a Chelsea fan, I am not bothered if Conte goes to Spurs, but Man United board, what in the world are you guys doing? It only makes sense what the Man United board are doing if there is a contingency. If there's a manager, I read this morning, Brendan Rodgers is the guy they're waiting on now. Legit read this morning from Rob Blanchett, very respectable, very credible, not a hyperbolic or a clickbait merchant at all. Verified journalist said Brendan Rodgers looks like the guy United are waiting on. The games against Atalanta, the games against Man City. Look, listen, Ollie's not out of the woods yet. Legitimately, Ollie could still lose his job. No shadow of a doubt, he could still lose his job. Let's just wait to see what happens in that space. Energy Donk here says, Terry, top 5 is correct. Man United stuck in the mud with Ollie. Couldn't agree with you more. Just try, some of these comments don't make sense. Man like Donny James here says, Tottenham get rid, but Donny stick with Richie. I love that. I absolutely love that. I love that. Dom here says, what a joke. Dom isn't happy at all. Conte rejected United. Well, that isn't true, is it? Spurs to make the top 4 and win some silverware. Man United are not going to make it. And this is it. I don't know about Spurs winning a trophy. Maybe they will. But I can seriously see Spurs making it into the top 4 now. And then on top of that, Man United missing out with the very manager that wanted to take over our club. And again, if by some chance Manchester United are able to appoint someone that's better, then cool. But as it stands right now, there doesn't appear to be a better option. They're talking Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers might play better football on the eye, but he's nowhere near the quality of coach as an Antonio Conte. He just isn't. You know, the coaches we're looking at on paper play better football, but they do not have the experience of managing a club with the pressures and the expectations of a Manchester United. Antonio Conte does, Zidane does, Luis Enrique does. They're the only three really that are out there and available that have managed clubs where drawing a game is reported as a disaster. It's crazy. I hope they've got a plan. I hope they've got a plan. I'm going to go to some of your calls now as this news is trending in. First up, I'm going to go to Misha. Misha's coming on the line to have his say. What are you saying, buddy?
Hey, Terry, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well. What's on your mind, my friend?
Yeah, I'm a Tottenham fan, yeah, so this is very positive news for me and for my club. Uh, if we get Conte, it's a big if, because we've seen this before when, like in the summer, yeah, we're waiting for him for a few weeks and then everything just collapsed in a few hours. So I'm excited for this, but at the same time, I'm still holding my horses.
And I understand that. One thing I will say is I was told this in the summer by Christophe Terrer that he does have a habit of throwing curveballs.
Yeah,
So he could land in London, walk into the room, and then I don't know what the curveball could be, but he could say, "I want another £2 million a year. Actually, I want you to up the transfer limit to
yeah.
50 million pounds more." He has a habit of like moving the goalpost at the 11th hour, but I don't think Tottenham will be stupid enough this time round to allow him to slip through their fingers. I think he'll step up and get it done. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I really hope so. But as well, I know how Daniel Levy works, and him as well can go into a room and say in the beginning on a Monday he can say one thing, and on Tuesday he can just change himself and say another thing. Or like in the summer there came reports that he didn't want Antonio Conte to have four backroom staff, like people in his backroom stuff. He wanted only limited numbers of three. You know what I mean? So Danny Levy is not a guy who could be trusted either. So I mean, this is positive news. Like Nuno was never the right fit anyway for us. Like I mean, you just appointed him just to make the fans not to be mad after 72 days in the summer without a manager. So I think this could be a very very positive news for the club. But at the same time, I'm still not 100% sure about Danny Levy whether he will give him the funds or not to
Yeah,
spend money in January
yeah,
and summer.
and I understand that. If you do bring him in,
Yeah,
if he signs today, tomorrow, whenever it is, how
yeah.
confident are you of making the top four with him as your manager?
I would say very confident because the only teams that I see, if we get Conte, I mean our squad is not so good. It's not on the level of like Man United, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. But I think that he can, how do you say it? He can get the best out of our players that we have right now, even the average players. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think he can get out more of likes of maybe Emerson, who we just signed, or and Dombele, or players like that, because he's a top manager and he knows what it takes to really deliver at the highest level. Nuno, he came from Wolves in it, and then it didn't work out for him. He didn't play the football the fans wanted. So, but yeah, very confident. If we get him tomorrow, and then we stick with him, I think we're very confident that we will get top four. Not
There
a
we go.
trophy,
Listen,
but top four.
I hear you, mate. Listen, top man, thank you for coming on and having
Yeah,
your say,
thank you,
buddy.
bro.
Thank you very much indeed. Next on the line, we've got, I want to try and pronounce his name, Shrey is with us now to have his say on this matter. Welcome to the terrace, buddy. Who do you support?
Hey Terry, I'm a Chelsea fan.
Lovely. Yeah. What do you make of Conte being on his way in?
I don't, I'm not too bothered by it to be honest, because I honestly don't see this working long term. Because if you look at Conte and his track record, he's gone into clubs where the owners are rich. They put their money in, who spend money. And Tottenham, I think we all know, like they're not a club who spend a lot of money. Like if you look at Chelsea, Abramovich would put his money where his mouth is. But and the moment you followed with him, he's done right there
Mm.
with. So that's why maybe initially, maybe this season might work. Long term, I don't see it happening. And on top of that, if you notice, Conte is someone who has his own style, he has his own authority. And Levy also, I think this summer, I think with the Kane situation, we've seen how much, authority he wants to impose. Like he's the boss,
Yeah.
and when they clash, well, what will happen in that case, So that is where I don't see it really working. Short term, why not? I mean that they're anyway in the mud, so they just put something out there. So,
Yeah, and I think the thing is, Matt Law just reported here. I'm just reading as you're speaking. Matt Law has just said that Conte due in London today. Tottenham have offered him an initial 18-month contract, and an announcement could be made as soon as tomorrow. This is the point, I think, with all of this is, I think both parties are looking at it, and it's almost this element of, okay, we'll give you what you want for 18 months, and then we'll assess the situation, where you are, where we are, how we both feel. It makes a lot more sense than giving him a big 5-year deal, having to cut that short so soon. And yeah, look, I think it's a tremendous piece of business. I really, really do, from Tottenham. I think it's an excellent piece of business to bring him in, especially on such a short-term deal like that. I really do think it's going to work out well.
Right. I think they even like following the Chelsea model, and we given, I'm not even surprised they're copying us, because we're like the OGs, in giving in hiring managers. So I mean, I'm not too surprised, and I'm not, and that shouldn't scare anybody, because I feel they're still not gonna make top four anyway, because I feel United, as and as a new Chelsea fan, I feel United's board, Woodward and them, don't have any balls to sack Oli. They're not as ruthless. They don't have any balls to actually go and sack Oli. And I just feel that they might just drop out, because the players might just like stop listening to him after a point. If they go into a bad run, like I think you had said previously, like what will happen if there's a bad run, So that is where I feel like that they're gonna fall out. They might just end up in fifth.
I do, mate. I really hear you on that. I do so much. Listen, great call, my friend. Thank you for coming on the terrace and having your say. Top man. Thank you, viewers. Do me a big favor. Really appreciate the live chats, the member chats, the super chats. I'm going to go to in a minute, but smash the like button, please. That's it right now. Yeah, thank you. I'm seeing you all do it now, which is great. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Strip Bear, thank you for the super sticker. That means a great deal to me. Joshua here says that the United board were never going to go for Conte. You can tell by reports that there was conflicting about him anyway. Could lead to Jose 2.0. And I think that's a fair reason. But we have to have a plan B on Oli. Not getting Conte doesn't mean that Oli should be safe. He may have done well to beat Tottenham on Saturday. He may beat Atalanta. He could sneak a result against City. But we know 3.5 years in, he's not good enough to get us over the line. And that has to be the ambition. What's Man United's move to this going to be? Because we now have a team, in my belief, with Spurs' squad under Antonio Conte that could push us out of the top four. There has to be every action requires a reaction. And Man United have got to react to this. They have to. Look in the summer, like Chelsea went and improved their squad. Man City didn't get what they needed. They went and got Grealish. They had creativity. They didn't add a goal scorer. They're now 1/4 of the way through the season, and they're 5 points behind Chelsea. Liverpool haven't gone and strengthened their squad enough. They've got a brilliant attack. They've got an excellent team, but they've had a few injuries. And 5 times now in 2 months, they've thrown away leads. 2 goal leads on 3, maybe even 4 occasions, because the squad isn't quite there. They're now 3 points behind Chelsea. That could, if they keep on this, if they have the same, and they've been brilliant, by the way. I mean, praised. Like, these things happen for a reason. It's another, you've got to react. Chelsea improved their squad. Liverpool and City had to react. They didn't. That's why Chelsea are in front of them right now. Man United have got to react on this basis for me. Have to. Let's go to some more of these super chats. Ahmed here says, Terry, what happened with that guy who told you Oli is gone after City no matter what? Has anything changed? Because I said yesterday I feel he's here to stay. Yeah, I'd have to check who said that. I'd have to check it. I mean, I spoke to a lot of journalists about that situation. A lot still say a lot rides on those games. There was one, and I need to find out which journalist it was. I'll have to go back and look. I honestly last week spoke to about 15 different journalists that all said some very different things. One did claim, and you are right, and I'm going to go back and find out who that was, that he's gone irrespective. But one thing I said, though, at the time is that could change, drop of a hat. We could beat Atalanta and suddenly it all looks great, crazy. We could be embarrassed by City and get rid of him. We could get embarrassed by Atalanta, look good against City and keep him. We could win our next 2 games, keep him through the international break, and then lose our next 2 afterwards and then sack him. It's just what anybody says, I don't take it with a pinch of salt. My overarching thought is always, yeah, but the Glazers. Always, yeah, but the Glazers. Always, always, always. Deborah here says managers aren't the only reason teams win or lose. Get some real players in and make them work. Zidane doesn't want a job in England. He wants PSG, is what Deborah's got to say here. We'll keep moving this forward. You can say Ronaldo's name as much as you like today. Lol, he doesn't make any difference to your team's performance. Cheers, Deborah. We still got that $1,000 bet. We still got that $1,000 bet, Debs. We'll have that $1,000 bet. Let me know when you want to do it for, and we'll get it done. Bash is on the show with me now. What are you saying, Bash?
Hey Terry, how you doing, sir? How are you?
Yeah, I'm very, very well, thank you.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really baffled about these football fans. The disrespect about Mourinho 2.0. People have to do their homework. Antonio Conte came to my team, Inter Milan, and he did a massive job. This guy, he's not only a good manager, he attracts good players. With Paratici there, imagine next year he might get the Italian, talents like Bastoni, Barella. He attracts players. A coach and a manager is not only on the pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Antonio Conte came from Coverciano. Coverciano is one of the most elite football school, alongside with Capello's, the Marcello Lippi's, and all these great coach. Graziano, I don't remember his name, the ex, when Pep Guardiola was the assistant at Brescia. But anyway, he's a great coach for middle table teams. It's just the disrespect. Football fans, they don't understand that, oh, he's toxic, oh, he's this, he's that. Conte is not only Conte. Conte is, with his staff, they came to Italy, where Italy were bad, really bad, and they came to the final against Spain. Yes, they lost 4-1, but still, he made a great job. He's similar to Mancini. So I think this for Tottenham is a huge, huge, huge step up. Huge. And if they give him, Terry, Conte, when he didn't come to Tottenham, when he refused Tottenham, I think, in my opinion, that they told him we're going to sell Harry Kane, and he refused that. Antonio Conte, when he was in Chelsea, Inter, he always demanded this big guy in the attack. The number 9, his number 9 is the Lukaku. I think he rates Kane, and he came back because he know that Kane is there and he's going to stay there. So yeah, man, Conte with Tottenham, man. I'm seeing good stuff.
Yeah, mate, I hear you. I'm seeing good stuff as well for them. There's no doubt about it. Bash, great call, mate. Thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Next up, long time no speak. City Express is here. What you saying, bro?
Hi, Terry. So I can't see Conte staying at Spurs for more than 18 months. I think so by the end of next season, he'll understand that Spurs are not the club that he expects. They won't buy in the players that he wants. Spurs are a long way off from City, Chelsea, and Liverpool, and it will take major improvements in the squad, which Spurs won't get in a transfer window. So yeah, I think so. It's a good deal. I think so. Spurs have good players to play in a 3-5-2 system, which Conte likes at this moment, and he probably might get into a top 4, but I'm not sure that he will stay more than 18 months. Daniel Levy is not the guy that is looking for winning the Premier League. He's I think so he'll be more than happy to
Why
stay in
though?
the
So
top four.
I need to challenge you. It's fine to have that opinion. Why?
So uh, the only reason is, let's say if Conte asks for 150 million without any sales, I can't see Spurs spending 150 million. Let's say three good players for
Okay,
50 million each.
the reason I ask, it's not because you don't think Conte is good enough or he's toxic. It's more the Tottenham board are not going to back him and he'll walk away.
Yeah, I think so. Conte is a fantastic manager, and I'm glad that he's not gone to at United. So that is a good thing for me. But yeah, that's the only reason. I do not think it's anything to do with Conte, but Daniel Levy and the board.
There we go. Listen, thanks for the call, mate. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Leaf is back with us now this morning. It's pretty much done. I'm sure he's happy. What do you want to say, mate?
Yes, I can't believe it. Like, it's so weird. Why didn't we get him this summer? Why now? When he's known for not jumping into clubs at the middle of the season. What happened? What changed? But I'm so happy. I'm really, really happy. Yeah.
Do you know what I think's changed? Is both the Man United job and the Tottenham job, because they're both jobs that he's clearly willing to take at this point. You're not sitting second bottom with no points, 1 point. You're winning a bit away from being in the top four. You've got Son, you've got Harry Kane, you've got Ndombele, you've got Højbjerg, you've got Romero, you've got Lloris. You know, you've got some very talented football players in your squad. You've got a January transfer window a couple of months away from happening, and I think he backs himself. And I back him to make you a solid, resolute, hard team to break down that can counterattacks with vigor and confidence and numbers. He will put you in the top four. Especially if you're able to buy a couple of players in January. He will put you into the top four. I even got an outside little, I'm going to say it now. He might even revive Dele Alli. No, I'm being a little bit facetious, but honestly, I think he's just going to transform your team.
Yeah, I also think so. I also think that, I mean, I still cannot believe it. It's been a few hours since it's almost confirmed, but I still can't believe it. We got Antonio Conte as a manager. I mean, what did we promise him? Because I don't think we can keep the promises that he wants us to make. Winning a title, no chance. Spending hundreds of millions in transfer windows, no chance. Is that maybe the fact that it's only a short-term contract? Maybe Conte only wants just a job quickly, a quick job for a year and then leave. I don't know. That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Yeah, look, I look at it this way. I know that you guys are a bit like Man United fans. You look at the things your club says and you take it with a pinch of salt.
Yes.
I would look at it from this point of view. He only fails if your owners don't give him what he wants, and if that happens, they should. Again, this is what I would say to Tottenham fans, to Man United fans. If you've got Conte, this is what you've got deep. One of the best managers in the world. If your club don't back him and give him what he wants to be successful, if anybody renews their season tickets, if any of you buy shirts, if any of you pump a single penny more into that club, shame, you deserve that treatment. Because it isn't like you've got a manager that's looked at as a good level manager and it's almost impossible, irrespective of your squad, to win a Premier League or to win a major trophy. But with Antonio Conte and the right investment, anything is possible. Antonio Conte is a better manager than Mauricio Pochettino, and he was involved in a couple of title races, and he got to a Champions League final. Over a 4 to 5 year period, if they back Antonio Conte, there is no reason why you can't be involved in a title race or two and get to another champion and get back into it. There isn't, because Poch did it, and Conte's a better manager. The reason that Conte won't do it is if your board don't back him. And if your board isn't willing to back a manager to try and win a major trophy, why are any of you going to games? You are going there to watch. And I'm not saying you shouldn't stop supporting Tottenham, but until your ownership change that approach, defund them. Defund them, make them crash and burn until they change their ways. Football fans have all the power all the power, but no one's willing to do it because a day out drinking with their friends is more important than their club being run right, and it makes me sick. Leaf, top man, thanks for coming on, having your say again. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Deborah here says, £1,000 bet is still on. You must pick the day. So let's get the perimeters of this $1,000 bet right. I will, after the Man United Atalanta game, I will not talk about or initiate a conversation about Ronaldo. What's your take on people super chatting or callers mentioning Ronaldo? I need to understand the rules of engagement here. Right? So let me know, Debs, and we'll put that £1,000 bet on for tomorrow that I can't go a show without talking about Ronaldo. We'll see if that's true. Next on the show, we've got a Gooner in the house. Per Hansen is here. What are you saying, Per?
Hi, Terry. How are you?
I'm very well. What do you want to say?
I've never done this before, but I want to give Tottenham full credit for doing what our clubs are refusing to do. Getting rid of a manager not good enough and getting in a decent or a good manager. And we're going to see the Tuchel effect. I'm completely convinced.
Wow. Tuchel effect at Tottenham.
Yeah. Why not?
Mate, there's no reason. I mean, I don't. It isn't a crazy take. It is not a crazy take. Now, I don't think they'll win the Champions League. I don't think they'll win the league next year. The squad isn't as good as Chelsea's. It could take time. Yeah. What I understand what you mean by Tuchel effect. I see this Tottenham team becoming now 10 times harder to beat, more prolific in front of goal, and climbing that league table. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's actually take a look at it now. Let's take a look at this now towards your claim. So I want to look at Tottenham's. I want to look at Tottenham's run of games on the way up, right? So
just while you check that, can I just be precise that I'm not saying Champions League or Premier League title right away, but just like you're saying, I mean that the difference between the previous manager and the current in Conte will be absolutely immense, and I just wish that we could be able to see the same at United as a football fan. Yeah, I wish to see United's squad being used properly. And Arsenal, of course. I just want to see how far can a good manager reach.
See, look at this. The next games, away to Everton, home to Leeds, away to Burnley, at home to Brentford, at home to Norwich, away at Brighton, away at Leicester. And then they play Liverpool on the 19th of December. Legitimately, with Antonio Conte, I can see 5 wins out of those. So there's 7 games. I could easily see 5 wins, a draw, and a loss minimum. Yeah. That in that time period, based on the form and consistency of everybody else, could legitimately put them in 4th. At the same time, they could beat Everton away, and they could also beat they could win 6 or 7 of those games with Antonio Conte as their boss. He is world class, and it's going to be and he has that ability to elevate people and make them feel great about themselves. It's going to be amazing to see. I really appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much indeed for coming on and having your say. Next up, Ads is a Liverpool fan. What's on your mind?
Yes, Terry, man, thanks for having me back on again. I think this is a great day for the Premier League. Like we're about to get another world-class manager in the league, and Klopp, Tuchel, Pep, and now Conte. Tottenham in a very, very good position. I'm surprised United didn't seal this deal. I'm very surprised they didn't seal the deal with Conte. Their predicament's going to be quite interesting moving forward, because even if Ole doesn't do a great job, Zidane's not guaranteed he's coming to the Premier League. And I just don't see you guys picking any other random managers out there. So this current climate at the moment, United could be stuck with Ole for a very long time. But for Tottenham, this is brilliant business. I mean, Daniel Levy, we know he's a special character. But I think he got this one spot on. Nuno wasn't doing a great job. I watched the game the other day. Lucas Moura got subbed out, and the boos were ringing round. Immediately I heard that, I thought any owner would make a decision, and fair play to him, he did. And he's got Conte on a flight over here to the UK to take over a Spurs team that people act like it's a terrible team. There is real quality in that team. Maybe not as much as, say, the Liverpool, Cities and United, but there's still quality players in there. The likes of Son, the likes of, obviously, Harry Kane. There's players in there that if a manager really installs that passion again, they could really do something. So I think top 4 is going to be an interesting battle now with Spurs back into the picture. And I I think Conte is, we know what he does. People talk about he throws his toys out his pram, but we've seen him take players like Victor Moses and make them great world beaters for championships. So I'm going to be quite intriguing to watch what happens with the Spurs team. But great win for the Premier League. We've got, what, 4 of the best managers in the world in the league at the moment? That's crazy.
I know, mate. It is very good for the Prem, no doubt. Listen, Ads, top man for coming on and having your say. Appreciate it, bro. Do you know what's crazy as well with Man United in this situation? I wouldn't even be surprised. We stick with Volley for another the rest of this season next year, and then when Conte's contract ends with Tottenham, then we bring him in. That wouldn't shock me, I should say. Listen, people, we're back at 6 p.m. We're back at 6 p.m. The Done Deal, not the Done Deal show. The Bet Victor Top 6 show is back. Make sure you hit the like and share button before leaving. Be back here, all of you, 2,000 of you watching, 6 p.m. right here on the Football Terrace. More Conte news, Unai Emery to Newcastle, Champions League previews. Also talking a little bit about the top 4 and title race as well. So tune into us tonight. Until then, take care. Goodbye.